What's up, everyone? What's up, everyone? I'm hoping you're good. We are good this side, and today we are talking about Nas100, and we are, the strategy we're doing is the Elliot Waves theory, and we're going to be helping each other try to understand the market structure, how to approach it, and how to deal with the waves in particular, because we believe that each and every time it is the waves that the market structure move in a certain manner, in a certain waves. So we're going to actually remind each other of the basics, and then try to figure out some other actions, because there are some other things that if you try to make an analysis and they do not happen, and then we're going to find out today why may some other thing happen and may not happen, right? So let's dive into the basics of the Elliot wave theory and the structure actually. The structure actually, how it should be, how you should approach it, and how to actually make entries using the Elliot wave theory. So let's do this. Um, First of all, let's say we were bearish, right? So the wave is going to be something like this. Wave 3 is the longest, and then wave 4, wave 5, right? So it is like this. It's like this, and then we can start numbering our waves. One. It's okay. I realized that I should have just used the waves itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So this is the Elliot wave theory, the Elliot wave structure, how it should be if we are in a bearish trend, right? So it says wave 3 must be the longest wave, right? So we have two corrections, wave 4 and wave 2, they are correction, and then impulsively we have wave 1, and then wave 3, and then wave 5, right? So these are the actual waves that you want to catch. We want to catch the termination of wave 2, and then so that you can ride wave 3, and then when 4 terminates, and then so that you can ride wave 5, right? So after you complete all the structure, and then you are followed by an ABC correction in the opposite direction, right? Just like this. So you're gonna have an ABC correction in the opposite direction, and then you would be ready to resume your trend, right? And then the market should be ready to resume its bearish trend, because it is the bearish trend and the correction, and then we continue with the bearish trend. So let's, even in the bullish trend, right, it happens like this. They're going to be bullish waves, and then they will be followed by a bearish correction and ABC correction, and then you resume the trend, right? So let's jump into the actual structures, right? So we're going to take a look at Nas100. As I said, we're going to try to understand why some other things try to happen and then later they failed, right? Because sometimes some other rules may hold true, and then after some while they get disrupted, and the actual wave count gets terminated, right? And then you need to restart your count in a different way, or continue with some other analysis that you had previously. So let's assume you were here, because right now what you can see here is, maybe we can start right here. You can see over here we started falling, and then we made these bearish waves, right? 1, 2, 3 being the longest wave, as you can see, and then we made 4, and then this is 5, right? We completed everything over here. So what is going to happen after that is you need an ABC correction, right? So we anticipated the correction that we needed to complete somewhere over here, right? As you can see, it tried to terminate over here, and then we needed an ABC. So this is what happened first, right? We were like, okay, we do have our correction right now, so what if we try to take these entries, right? We did, and then as you can see, it somehow went correct, and then came back, and then we tried to continue with the bearish trend again, but eventually it failed. later it failed and then it went bullish. So let's try to understand that why it failed, because you may have started over here, right? Because it's all starts over here. So you may have started over here and then did your count, but later things get terminated as this market moves beyond even the start of one, because everything will hold true up until you cross this line, you move beyond it is then terminated, or you actually touch the bottom of you must not touch it, the bottom of, or in this case it is the top, right? So you didn't have to reach these prices, but it went beyond them. So we're trying to understand what happened, why didn't they hold true, right? So let's remove these waves because they didn't hold. So I mean, you know how you approach the waves, and if it takes you to use the history, because I think I may say this is the fresh information, right? Because if you can zoom out, you can actually get the most history. Like if you can go back and try to understand these other waves previously, but we try by all means to take the fresh information, right? So it somehow it tells you what is about to happen, right? So let's understand why didn't we continue resume with the bearish trend, right? So sometimes why is you need to understand something. If first of all, we're gonna need to zoom out, right? We're gonna need to, okay, let me remove the entire drawings, right? There we go. So you're going to need to restart your count if there are something that gets terminated, right? So if we take this history, let's try to read this history, right? So if you can start over here, let me just do this. If we can start over here, because you see we started falling at this point, right? And then we made our way down there. So let's start counting there. So where can we start? Is over here, 0, 1, 2, right? So you can say 3, 4, and 5, right? It's still good. Or 3, 4, 5 is still good. Or 3 over here, 4, 5 is still good. But we're gonna take this one, right? Because it is clearly visible in our eyes and it is huge to work with. So it was something like this. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? In the bearish way, in the bearish manner. I mean, we could take this, as I'm saying, we could take this, but we're trying to eliminate them at this time. We are eliminating them because these are just mono waves. As I've said in the previous videos, that mono waves speed up the actual waves that you are looking for. So taking these, you'll be adding too much numbers, and it will get messy. So you're going to filter out some other noise, you're going to filter out some other actions, because these are just mono waves which we're making wave 3. So let's eliminate them and actually take wave 3 itself, because this is what we want to work with. So we started over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So in this fall right over here, so we're going to start here, right? In this fall right over here, we were just making 5. So what happens after 5, right? We need an APC correction that will correspond with this structure with each wave, right? Just like these waves, right? What I've said first is that you need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then an APC correction in the opposite direction, and then what is left here after you finish this wave is an APC correction, an APC type of a correction, right? So I think it is getting clear why these waves over here, this APC did not hold, because remember that the higher degree holds more value than the lower degree waves, right? So it is crucial for you to continue with these waves, with this one, then continuing with these mono waves right here, because these were just mono waves building up with 5 as you can see, when they get finished, they tell you that we are now reaching wave 5. So be careful, right? Be careful. We are now reaching wave 5. So let me change the color maybe to black, a little black, and then change the degree to minor, because these are mono waves, right? So these are mono waves. They were actually here to signal the end of these waves in a bigger degree. So when we reach this 5, we couldn't make this ABC and then continue with these mono waves, because we were not intentionally making these mono waves. We were only making 5, completing these higher degree waves, right? And then after that we need our ABC, right? And then I think that is why this one didn't hold as an ABC that will resume the trend, the bearish trend, right? We needed to go a little higher because of the degree of these waves, right? Of these intermediate waves, right? Because these are minor waves, these are intermediate wave, higher degree. So they will hold more value than these ones. So this is why the mono waves get vandalized, they get disrupted, disobeyed some Elliot's rules, because they cannot go against the ones with the bigger degree, right? So what is left for us is to actually read an ABC structure, right? Is to wait for an ABC structure to appear in our eyes, to be clear before we interact with the bearish trend, before we continue with the bearish trend. I mean, it's already clear. Look at us. We are trying to, be bearish as much as we can, right? Because at this price, at this moment in time, we can only try to sell, not to buy. I mean, it has been rising all along, and the ABC structure is actually clear now. So I'm just gonna take this and I'm trying to reveal now. The only thing left is for you to reveal the ABC pattern, right? The ABC pattern. So here is an ABC pattern, here's an ABC pattern. It's very much clear, right? So this is what we were waiting for all along. So let's change this color to green, just like the other, right? So that it will correspond with these waves, right? So this is what has been happening. We wanted an ABC structure to be clean and clear, be visible in our eyes before we try to interact. I mean, it's a little tricky to interact with it right now. You couldn't just sell over here. You would want to wait for an impulse in the bearish way and then a correction in the upside so that you can interact with it, right? Because Elliot Waves is all about waiting for a perfect moment, something that is clearly visible, because once it is visible and is trustworthy, it is of good use, and high probability, potential. So, it is clear right now. It is clear, pretty much clear, right? So this is it. I think it is ready to fall, to resume with the bearish trend according to these waves, right? According to the intermediate waves. So right now we understand why these waves didn't hold, these minor waves. We understand why they did not hold, continuing with the bearish trend, because you cannot continue with the mono waves over an intermediate wave, or should I say the waves with the higher degree, right? You cannot, trust mono waves more than the waves with the higher degree. So the bearish structure is now visible in our eyes, the ABC. So we can now start thinking about selling the market. It is so likely for this market to fall right now. It is feeling a huge weight when it reaches these points. So I think it has already started, but if you can wait and then have a bullish correction, it will give you what you're actually looking for, right? So this is how you understand why some other waves did not hold, or which one to trust, which one to go with, and which one to let go, right? So we are learning to let go of the mono waves when we have to, but sometimes we don't have to, because if we were just currently over here making this black 4, we would have taken this entry and then closed somewhere down here according to the Elliot's rules, right? Because right, first of all, you remember the minimum length required of wave 5 must be equal to the length of wave 1, right? So let's try to just take this length over here. I think it is getting messy right now. It's stopped over here, right? So if you can take this distance and then measure from 4 to 5 where we would have like placed our TP, it was down over here. As you can see, when it's reached this level, it's made it 10. So the minimum length required for wave 5 to complete is actually equal to wave 1. And let me remove these waves. Now mono waves, we are done with them. So I mean, it is just like this. It is clean and clear. It is simple. You will always want to take what is visible to your eyes. Do not get yourself confused. Do not mess things around. And the other thing I always like to do is, so that everything going to be clear, is actually put these lines, these vertical lines, as I've indicated over here, at the start of this trend, right? And then I will place another one at the finish of the waves, where they get terminated. So where it was over here, right? So I know after that what comes after the finish of this is an ABC structure. As you can see, when you finish the waves, you get an ABC structure, clean and visible to our eyes. But remember that what I've said is that each and every wave is made of mono waves. So let's try to find waves within this ABC structure that will signal the trend end over here. Because remember, you still need mono waves to actually find out that at this point we are likely to fall, right? So I'm just gonna remove I'm gonna do this, remove waves here, because I don't need too much lines, right? And I'm going to remove these ones too. I don't want things to look messy. There we go, right? So let's take a look at this one. Let's get closer and closer and closer to what is happening right now. So let's try to read this a bullish trend. Let's try to find ways. So remember what I've said. I've seen something a little complex over here, so I'm gonna try to make sure that I first explain something up here. So remember that it is these ways, right? 1 2 3 4 5, like this, if we are bullish, right? And then they are followed by an ABC correction. So remember that the market just do not go straight like this. As you can see, these are just straight lines. It is going like sideways, have some corrections, and then resume trend. Maybe wave 1 like this, wave 1 like this, right? Maybe wave 1 like this, and then these two, right, which is made maybe of ABC, and then we are making wave 3, which is also made of a lot of noise, right? Which is also made of a lot of noise. You can make with 3 like this, I mean, and then you can complete your trend over here. So as you can see, it's a little complex, but if you understand the mono waves, it is clean and clear, right? So if we name this, we're going to be like this: 1 2 3 4 5, right? Because along the way over here, anything can happen. It can move sideways, but intentionally we're just making with 3, right? So as you can see, it went sideways, for quite some time and then continued, but it doesn't change the fact that this is still wave 1 and wave 2, because this did not move beyond this line. It did not move beyond this line, right? It did not beyond the termination point of 1, right? So if it's moved beyond it, it will, this 1 and 2 will be terminated. It wouldn't be actually 1 and 2. It will have like vandalized Elliot Waves rules. So if it just do anything or just turns over here and continue, it is still with 1 and 2, this one, so they still hold true, right? So this is what I'm actually trying to clarify, that a lot of things can happen along the way, but just as long as everything can stay true. And you have to remember that wave 4 must not touch the top of wave 1, right? As you can see, wave 4 is over here and wave 1 is over here, so everything stays true. And then you could like do this and then measure with let's take this distance and then put it over here, trying to measure with 5, so it would have like terminated over here. So let's go back to this with this information. Let's go back to this. As you can see, at this termination, so it started over here, right? 0, you need wave 1, wave 2. So let's make it H. So it's 1, 2, how we have counted this, 3, 4, right, over here, and then 5, right? Remember I said wave 5, the minimum length required, not an actual length. It can extend itself, go beyond the minimum length, it's still okay, but like the minimum length required is actually equal to wave 1. So it doesn't be like it has vandalized the rules if it moves beyond the minimum length of wave 1, right? So as you can see, this wave 1 is not equal to this wave 5. Wave 5 here is actually longer than wave 1, so it's still true. So if we come back and then let's change the colors. Okay, let's change the color to maybe pure black, and then understand this just as mono waves, right? So we're going to make them minor. All right, so this is it, right? As you can see, here is 2, the termination point of wave 2 was over here, so this did not touch this wave, this rise, it did not touch it. So this one still holds true as 1, 2, and then along the way we made a lot of different things. That do not scare us because it haven't vandalized anything, right? We made a lot of different things, but then we did our 3, completed it, and then we made our 4, which we were looking for as a test to this pattern, right? And then we completed everything, as you can see, right? So that is why we were like, okay, this C may stand true over here. We still haven't confirmed the move because we want an actual impulse followed by a correction, and then we're going to be like, no, we're taking this as point C, but it seems like it is point C at the moment. So as I told you that mono waves signal a trend change, right? If they are about to be complete, they're telling you something. So as you can see, we had mono waves within this APC structure that we were actually waiting for, but in that APC it gives you mono waves, which you're building it, and then once mono waves get complete, wave C would be complete as well. So we had something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it is looking good. In fact, we did some analysis, right? So let's check this analysis. Oh, here they are. As you can see, we started like this, and then we were like, this may be C, right? This may be C. Let's check it out. Oh, here are these waves, right? Yes, here they are. It was first these ones, and then we had something like ABC over there, and then once we saw this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it looked so good for us to to actually trust this APC that it's gonna hold. But let's come back here. As you can see, it's now actually trying to go down a little bit more. So we really wanted to push it down more than this, and then it will eventually come back. I mean, we have like already taken an entry over here, and it was a bit risky, but you know, we can trust it. We can trust it. We can somehow trust it. So I think this is it for today, and understanding what is actually happening with Nas100 currently. So we good. We're going to meet in another video where we actually, you know, be updating our analysis, because with the Elliot waves we do not get rid of our analysis, but we update them as the waves get developed more and more and more. You know what I'm saying? So yes, we are done. We're going to meet in another video. You might as well hit the like button and subscribe button if you are new to this channel, and thank you.